Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Finn and I make beats. With the new-ish update, you're now able to use the MPC software in a DAW. My DAW of choice is Ableton for making beats. So what I'm gonna do is load up the MPC as a plugin in Ableton and show you how that workflow can be useful for making beats. Okay, so we're in Ableton right now. I've got an empty MIDI track right here. I'll just Command F to search, and I just put MPC. You'll see MPC3. Double click it if you have your empty MIDI track selected, and then it loads up just like an empty MPC software track. So you just load it up, drag it from there, and you put it right here where it says samples. You can chop your samples on your MPC and still have it available in Ableton. So let's go ahead and just give this a quick chop. Truncate it. Chop mode. All right, so now shift, convert. Let's get non-destructive. Go back and go into global here. So what I would do is find the tempo that I want to record at. So I could even tap it. Let's go. Actually, it doesn't change the tempo in MPC. It says 120, but right here my sequence is 84 on the screen. So if I move this though, okay, so if I move it on Ableton, it reflects on the screen in the MPC's software, but it doesn't reflect on the actual MPC screen. Not sure how I feel about that, or if that's an error. That's pretty dumb because I can't see what the tempo is going to be when I'm tapping it. I guess I could tap it out on Ableton, but obviously it's not as good tapping it on a mouse. Something like that. So I'm thinking let's go about 70. Let's go about 77. Let's try recording. So what you got to do is press record and stop here. Sorry, record and play start here, and then press record here. Okay, so the thing is, it doesn't show the MIDI notes. So it's still on my thing as if I did it on an MPC. So the way that I would use this is just to chop my samples, because I just love the way to chop samples on MPC. So what I would do after that is just right click. I would duplicate this track, Command D, and then I would bounce track in place. I don't think I can. So you got to kind of commit to it. It's a little strange because I don't want to have to make the whole beat in here. So because when it's time to stem it out, then it's pretty strange. It's a little bit strange. I can't lie to you. Okay, so what I would do, I would just bounce this in place. And it didn't even, let me undo that. Because for some reason, the first hit is not hitting. So let's do that. Let's make sure that I can overwrite it, record. Okay, so this thing is not quite where it needs to be yet because it is beta. Okay, and then now bounce track in place. I just don't want to have to commit and then now I can't go back to my MPC. So, I mean, like I said, it is good for chopping samples. But now with the Ableton's time stretch, you can do so you have a little bit more room to manipulate your elements, basically. So I'm going to load up another MPC. You can only have one loaded at a time, which I get. I don't know how I feel about this. So yeah, I'll go to my drum kits. I've been on a Beat Butcher kind of run recently. So if you do actually have a MPC, this is like basically making a drum rack. I wish I could press play on the MPC and it would start the Ableton. If there's a way to do that, let me know. So I got to make sure I press record and start. And then press this record again too. So it's a lot. I'm trying to think if there's a way that I can export this without having to. Okay, what I could do actually is record it. Let's try that. Okay, okay. And let's put a little bit of dust on it, just on the drums. Okay, that's not a bad workaround. So now I get my drums processed. Okay, so I could have done that with the sample. Just recorded the sample, soloed, and then recorded into my Ableton, and then I'll have it as a track. And then I wouldn't have to delete the MPC session in order to, if I change my mind about the sample and I want to get a different part or record a second clip, then that's kind of the workaround that I would use. I'm just trying to see how I would actually use this in my workflow. And this way, I kind of feel like I would use it, especially to process my drums or to try different ways of chopping the sample and recording it onto my Ableton timeline and still using it. I'll mute this version. So I got to remember to press record and play start or else it won't record on the MPC. Okay, and then what I would do, like I said before, load up another instance. I'll make it stereo. I'll put a little bit of 404 dust on it just to see how it would be applicable. I'll mute my drums, press record. Go in here, I'd have to mute the MPC, turn this up, turn my drums back on. Let's steal this sidechain compression from this other track, put it on here, paste it. Or I could even do something like this. turn this on. This is -2. So let's go -2 with this one. Might be off key because so now I got 2 separate sequences playing. Okay, so that's how I would possibly use the MPC as a plugin. I haven't actually tried it before filming this video. I just thought it was kind of interesting to see how I could possibly utilize the MPC, the strengths of the MPC, and adding it to the strengths of a DAW. I think I could see myself doing it, like I said, using the MPC to chop the sample and then using the time stretch and the warping features of the Ableton to then take it to another level, because I really don't really like the time stretch on the MPC. I usually just use repitch. It also affects the speed when I mess with the pitch. So once I bring it into Ableton, the warp feature on Ableton is second to none. So I would definitely use it in that capacity. As far as making the whole beat on the MPC and then bring it into Ableton as a plugin, I don't really see the benefit. Maybe I'm missing something. If there's a way for me to use my MPC to trigger the transport controls on Ableton, let me know. If there's just a way I have to configure it in order for it to work, so I can press play on the MPC and it plays on the Ableton. Because I know when I use my Novation launch key, the transport controls work perfectly in Ableton. I just press play, I can press record, and it's just plug and play, and it just seems to work. So I'm not sure if there's something I'm doing wrong on the MPC. If there is, let me know. Otherwise, I don't know, would you guys actually bother to use this plugin, or is it one or the other? Either you use your DAW or you use your MPC. Let me know. I'm gonna keep experimenting with this and see if it's worth my while or if I just pick one or the other. Make sure you guys go to the website, producebyfin.com. Got a bunch of stuff over there. More stuff being added on a regular basis. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get this channel up. Let's get this channel to 10,000. Right now we're about 7,600. If you're new here, my name's Finn. I make beats. Peace.